Did you hear that?
I heard that.
What was it?
Could be a lot of things.
Welcome, everybody, to the VHS Vault. I'm, of course, VHS Jace, and the next to me is the man with the channel was named after, Jason Roy Gaston.
That's right, Mr. Channel right here.
Now, this is an antidote episode. I like to call it the antidote. It's been a while.
We are balancing the great scales of justice right now.
We are.
Yeah, I did something really bad to you a few months back. You mentioned that you mentioned that you loathed, hated, and despised the movie An American Werewolf in Paris. And so I thought, what a fun idea. What an excellent thing to do is to just make Jace watch a movie I know he hates. And I did. And he did. And now we're here to, I guess, right a great wrong. And
we're cleansing the palate.
Yes, we are cleansing the palate after many, many months and taking a look at the 1981 horror classic, one of my favorite movies of all time, An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yes, we are. This film dates now at 44 years old.
Indeed.
44 years old. This film was also written by John Landis when he was 20 years old.
Before he committed murder, yes.
Yeah. Now, he wrote this before his first film, Schlock. You done a film, Schlock?
Yes, I know Schlock.
Yes.
I couldn't make it through it. I just could not make it through that movie.
Not only introduced John Landis, but also introduced the world to Rick Baker. That's how those guys met in that film. And the next film was that John Landis said to him, all right, we're going to do American Werewolf in London. And there you go. 44 years ago. It's incredible.
Yes.
And a movie John Landis didn't really need to make for his career because he was already kicking goals left, right, and center from a directing standpoint. He'd already directed films like The Blues Brothers. He did Animal House. Like, this guy was known as, like, he's the guy. So to do a horror film wasn't exactly the first thing people might have thought of when he did it. And it also stars, Jason, this is where the power of editing has come in, a young David Norton and Griffin Dunne. And the reason I'm going to bring this up, because David Norton, for most of us, was the first time we've seen him. But he was a pop star once.
Yes, he was.
He released a single that actually made the charts quite well.
I don't remember it. I remember
it's
him
called
as the
I'm
Dr.
Making
Pepper.
It.
I remember him as the Dr. Pepper guy.
Yes, look, we didn't get Dr. Pepper here to the 90s because it's Australia. What do you expect?
Right.
But I do remember seeing that.
Where did he get his degree from?
Dr. Pepper's like every other junk food place that comes to America. It comes here, we go, it tastes like crap, and then it goes away. So Dr. Pepper's one of them.
It does taste like crap, I will admit. And as a Texan, I know that is blasphemy. Everyone in Texas just clutch their pearls and go, oh, my stars. But yeah, I'm sorry. Dr. Pepper's garbage. It is too sweet. And if I wanted to, I could just dissolve sugar in water and just chug that if I wanted to.
Exactly.
Well, honey, that's what we call sweet tea down here in the South. Sweet tea is brown Kool-Aid for adults. Prove me wrong.
Well, you know what? It's not crap, this movie.
No, this movie's excellent.
I watched it last night again with the wife. And man, I appreciated it as much last night as I have the multiple times I've seen this film. There is a good reason why this is one of your favorite films, Jason, because it is an example of efficient filmmaking at its best. Yeah, we get in this movie and we are out of this movie in a nice, tight, sweet 90 minutes, which is something I adore old movies for. We don't peter on. We don't over-explain ourselves. We start the movie with a couple of young guys hanging out some sheep in a truck. And at the end of it, they're dead.
No, I do love the efficiency of this movie. I love how unpretentious it is about everything. Literally, the first time that you meet that you meet David and Griffin Dunn's character, whose name is escaping me at the moment.
Jack.
The second that you meet David and Jack, they just pour out of the truck, and then they're walking, and it's like, oh, we don't need an explanation of what they're doing. Obviously, they're backpacking. Yeah, that's great.
We got all the information we need to know.
Yeah, nothing is explained in this movie, and I love that. There's so much that is mysterious. The werewolf attack scene, for example.
Oh.
Who was the werewolf? Where did he come from? What was his deal? Don't matter. Don't matter. It's mysterious. You have questions? Too bad. You're in the same boat as David. Yeah, you don't get no answers. Sorry, bud. That's where the horror comes in.
Yes. It is so, like you said at the beginning, it's so efficient where we get to know everything we need to know about these guys for their little chat as they're walking down the road. And by the time they arrive at the Slaughtered Inn, you're getting a sense of what type of movie this is immediately. Because, you know, the moment they look at that Slaughtered Inn picture and there's a decapitated wolf's head on a spike.
Oh, I should have worn my T-shirt. I have that on a T-shirt.
Do you? You're kind of getting it there. And the way Griffin Jack basically goes, not exactly the best ad for a pub, is it? Is a pretty well good sign. And what a great scene inside the pub. Talking about that scene's so important because it sets the tone of this unsettling vibe throughout the whole movie is established in that pub scene. And obviously the great Rick, you know, Mr. Drop Dead Fred himself plays a cameo in that.
Yes, he does.
He is in that, and some great British actors as well. But what a great scene, because it seems like a normal pub. It's just a bit awkward. And then the switch by the characters. And then, sorry, no offense, Americans, but your arrogance of, like, whatever, we're going to do what we want. And it's kind of funny because
it's worked for us so far.
Yeah, they immediately suffer the consequences of it.
Yeah, I'm sure
in one of the most electrifyingly terrifying attack scenes ever caught on film.
I think that scene shocks people so much. Because it's a fake jump scare followed by almost immediately, without warning, an actual scare. Because you get that tension, and then you get that breath of relief, and that breath of relief is not even out of your body before it's just rah. And it's
working
brutal.
On two levels, that scene though, because the moment the jump scare is done and Jack's being shredded and he's screaming for his life, the immediate thing is David's bolting.
Yeah,
so it's disturbing on two levels because it's like, yeah, you're doing instinct, but you're judging him also as an audience member going, you're running away from your friend. So it just adds to the weirdness. And then obviously he goes, nah, I've got to go back. I've got to go back.
I don't think he even realized. I think he was just in full panic and then realized as he ran, like, oh man, I left my friend back there. And he turned around and came back. Yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking that Jack is killed that soon in the movie, and you're just like, wow, okay, I thought this was the main character. What the heck?
Yeah,
like all bets are off right there, but it's okay. I'm sure David will be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure David will be fine. And then we would cut straight to the hospital. So, like, the meat of the movie is already going at this point. We've had our open sequence. We know that poor Jack hasn't survived, and we meet David in the hospital.
We know David is circumcised.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, let's give it to David Norton for not being bashful in this movie. And we get to see his dingle dangle a couple of times in this movie in the dream sequences.
Yeah.
He should be pretty happy with his dingle dangle. I will say that. No, it's all for the service of
the first
really
time I watched this movie.
Sequences.
First time I watched this movie, I was with my parents. I was single digits. We watched this on Showtime, and we're just sitting there watching this movie. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm just like, it's dingle dangle. And I look over there at my parents, and my parents are doing this.
Well, there's another scene
you need
later
to go
in
to
the
your
movie
room.
That might have.
Yeah. You need to be a better parent. I'm sorry.
There is an extended intimacy scene that they might have have to cover your eyes into at one point.
Just a smidge, yeah. I think that's whenever I was officially told to leave the room. So.
The dream sequence.
I will watch this movie one day, and you can't stop me. And I did. It was later that night it came on, and they weren't home. I was a latchkey kid, so I watched the whole movie all by myself.
The whole thing. The dream sequences in the hospital are just so well done, and each dream sequence just takes it to a more disturbing level. You know what starts as a very kind of just through the woods POV shot Then the next one is we get to see him running.
Yep.
And then we see him looking at the deer, and you're thinking, oh, that's it. No. But he goes in and starts eating the deer raw, which is really great, terrifying moment. And then what John Landis does, which is absolutely brilliant, is inception at times by doing, you're still in a dream scene. It's a dream within a dream within a dream. And it works to great effect in this movie because we get some of the best visuals and jump scares from that.
It's not only that, but I think it actually leads to one of the funniest moments in the film. And this is why I think David Naughton was perfectly cast in this movie, because he kind of has this everyman, I am the surrogate for the audience thing about him, because he has the dream about the Nazi demons killing his family. And then, he inceptions into the hospital where the nurse comes in and opens up the window and she's killed by a demon. And he just wakes up, he goes, holy shit. I just laugh at that every single time it happens. Because
such a strange choice to have demon Nazis. But then you think about it and go, oh no, he's a Jewish lad who would have grown up in a Jewish home in the 80s when Nazis were spoken about because his parents would have been involved in the war. So it is actually really apt. And I forgot how long that sequence is.
It really is.
It's a pretty long sequence by the time they slash his throat.
Do you know what? This is a funny side story right here. I remember I was researching the Muppets one time, and I don't even remember why. I was just seeing who did the Muppet voices, and I got to Frank Oz. And I was looking at his credits, and it said, An American Werewolf in London. And I thought, Frank Oz was in An American Werewolf in London? Who did he play? And I looked and it said Miss Piggy. And I thought, wait, when was Miss Piggy in An American Werewolf in London? And I racked my brain and I could not figure it out. And then, seriously, just a few months ago, actually over a year ago, my godson was living with me and he wanted to watch the movie because he had heard me talk about it. And so, we sat down and watched An American Werewolf in London, and that scene came up, and I said, the kids are watching the Muppets! And he just looks at me like, what?
Well, he also
is wrong with you?
He was also the US diplomat in the room when, like, Frank Oz himself as the actor was in the film as well.
Oh, now I'm even more confused.
So when the British police were there and they had someone from the consulate, that was Frank Oz.
I'll be darned.
He also played, you might see, recognizable because he plays one of the prison workers in the beginning of Blues Brothers. It gives John Belushi all his stuff back.
Star Wars American Werewolf connection confirmed.
Yeah. So hey, the fact that the Muppets live in the American Werewolf in London universe, totally cool with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Totally cool with that. Now, we got to talk about the makeup in this film because these dream sequences only work too because of the exceptional makeup. And I would say if there was one freeze frame of this film that I would like to highlight the brilliance of the makeup, it's not the inevitable transformation scene. It's the first time we see Jack at the hospital. And Jack turned up and says, can I have a bit of toast? It's his neck, dude. It's his
wiggles.
There's a bit of skin wiggling and the depth of the wounds. It's unbelievable. And it doesn't look like it's added on prosthetic. It looks natural. Like it's because the transformation scene, you cut, you light it a certain way and all this. This is just in a hospital room. The worst light possible.
Light.
Yeah. Fully exposed, and it's just incredible, And of course, we talk about the big transformation scene, but the transformation of Jack throughout this film not only becomes iconic in its own way, but he becomes the comedy sidekick. The relief for the audience is Jack. The only levity we get in this film is because Jack's involved.
Oh, I don't think that's the only levity, but
I think so. I mean, the great scene in the funniest scene in the film, I think, is the cinema scene when Jack introduces David to his freshest victims. That is one of the funniest scenes.
Those are funny, but I don't think those are the only levity scenes in there.
Well, stand out to me.
I love the way that Jack is just reintroduced, where any movie today would make a big deal about his appearance, foreshadow it and everything. But no, David's just sitting there, just like getting ready to eat breakfast, and he just looks up, and there he is. He's like, "Can I have some toast?" And I don't know. There's just something about the understatement of it all.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, at that point, you really don't know if he's seeing things again. You don't know if he's dreaming. You don't know what's going on.
And he called it. He goes, I can't deal with this. But he deals with it, And the fact that Jack loves David, it's his best friend.
Yeah.
So he continues that relationship with his best friend. Even though he's stuck in purgatory, he's still continuing to treat David as he was if he was alive. And there's a real honesty about that I think works really well. The nurse, Jenny Ogden. Now, you may know she's the nurse. She probably seems.
Is that how you pronounce her last name?
I don't know.
Her forever.
I don't know.
I feel bad because I really like her in this movie. Yeah.
My wife's going, "Where's she from? Where's she from?" I said, "Are you kidding me?" She goes, "Oh, hang on. She was in Captain America: Winter Soldier." And I said, "Are you kidding me? How are we still married if that's the only thing you know her from?" She's a wonderful actress. Certainly had a big British career in the 70s and 80s. But she's great. But the nurse should have been fired and prosecuted for doing what she was doing.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to take a patient home with you.
You don't bone the patients, no.
What are you doing? Should have lost your job, lady. Should have lost your job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they should have lost their jobs whenever they were like, perving on them, saying, "Oh, look at this!" Yeah, that should have been the first red flag right there. But the 80s were a different time, I guess.
It was, but it did show the conservatism of England back then. In regards, it was still very prim and proper and back in the day, and quite dismissive and condescending. And that is shown throughout the film with all the leadership positions that we have British people in, whether the doctors or the policeman or the main detective. They're all very pompous and like up themselves. The only one who kind of works is the doctor, who decides to go to the village and start asking questions.
Yes.
Like, and the way they do it is it's so good because it never takes the big leap into fantasy. They somehow keep it grounded through the whole thing. That's a magic trick on its own.
Well, you keep it grounded for as much as you can about a werewolf movie with an undead sidekick, comic relief character, and demon Nazis. Yeah, you can.
That ends up bursting out of a dirty cinema. You know what I mean? And bites a dude's heads off immediately. Well, we'll get to that.
Yes, well, and rolls down Piccadilly Circus like a bowling ball. Is it weird that whenever I went to Piccadilly Circus just to stand where they filmed An American Werewolf in London?
Well, originally it was written that he was going to bust out of a cartoon cinema, a cinema that would play cartoons nonstop, because that's what he thought was at Piccadilly Circus. And then they arrived to film, and it's a dirty cinema, and they're like, "Oh well, looks like we're changing the script. It's now a dirty cinema," which is foretold in one of the tunnel sequences where they're chasing the guy through the London tunnel sequence. There's one where he stops and he looks back, and if you see along the walls, the movie poster for the dirty film that's playing at the cinema is there.
See you next Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is one of the funniest.
Oh, it's great.
The fact that it's a movie parody, and not only that, it's a dirty movie parody inside this horror movie, is such a stroke of genius.
Oh, it is.
And then whoa, what are you doing here with my wife? I've never seen you before at all.
Oh,
sorry then.
It's a funny joke inside.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Yeah, it's really good. The transformation scene. Let's just jump into it. Probably one of the most. I mean, people won Academy Awards for that scene,
and they deserved them. Even today,
44 years later,
it still looks amazing.
If that was in a current film today, it would still be applauded. It would still be applauded just for the sake of... Now, you can kind of, because we're a bit more knowledgeable, Jason, we can see behind the curtain a little bit. We can tell how they've done some of those effects, but they're still incredible. And to think this 22-year-old kid called Rick Baker was there doing all these little tricks, like when the hair's growing on him, that was literally him pulling hair out towards the thing and then just reversing it back.
Yeah,
so it looks
I
like
love
the hair.
those.
These little gags that they were doing.
I love those kind of things.
where you've got the werewolf running through Piccadilly Circus and you're seeing his head. He is literally in a wheelchair holding the head on a stick while John Landis pushes him around. That's how, and I love that stuff.
I love the fact that limited filmmakers to where you only had like 4 or 5 money shots in the entire movie of the creature, and it was you could see it, but at the same time you couldn't, and so your own brain had to fill in the blanks. It's the Blair Witch effect. And
so good.
There's
that one shot. Yeah, go on.
There's one shot in this movie where you see the entire werewolf.
Yep.
And that is for like 1 second as it is about to go up the stairs after that one guy.
Yeah.
And it's just,
and it's so
there
great.
he is off in the distance, and then it's like, oh,
so
no,
small
point of
on
view.
Screen. Yeah,
I know, but he looks so good.
Looks amazing. It does. It does. I mean, like, it's less is more. They found the balance of giving you more, but they're still playing in the space of less is more.
Yes.
So I've just found this wonderful balance. But you know, the transformation scene, something that kind of struck me this time watching it, it never struck me before, is how long that scene is and why it's so long. And I'm not talking about the actual transformation, but there's almost a 10-minute sequence of him bored out of his mind that day, which is leading up to it. And as you watch it, it's funny in the beginning, but you start to feel that uncomfortableness. And you start to pick on, is it getting dark outside yet? What's going on? He's expecting it, but he's also laughing at the ridiculous concept. And then when it breaks, Jason, randomly reading a book, it just, out of nowhere,
hot flash,
boom, that terrifying scream, and then just the amazing sequence, you know.
It's also got another one of my favorite jokes in there, because at that point, Jack had visited him again, and he's a little bit more decayed this time.
Yes, he's a bit green around the gills.
Yeah, they talk for a little bit, and at one point Jack picks up the Mickey Mouse doll, and he goes, "Hi, David," like that, and it's just like a little throwaway gag.
Yeah.
And while he's transforming, he opens up his eyes for just a second, and his eyes lock onto that Mickey Mouse figure, and it's almost like David mocking him through the vacant plastic eyes of Mickey Mouse.
It's
so
great.
It's
amazing. You know, the other thing why I reckon those scenes work so well is the lack of soundtrack. The opening scene, the transformation scene, except obviously the Bad Mood Rising, Creedence Clearwater mic drop that they've got. But when they get into scenes of violence in this film, John Landis went, I don't want any music. I don't want any score. And it's such the right instinct.
There is no score in this movie at all, is there?
There is a little bit, but I think it's a generic, pull it off the shelf.
Yeah, maybe
sequence moments.
I'm trying to.
Though there is a composer, they're probably going right now. But it seems to me more heavy into mic drops and classic music about moons than it is.
Which is in itself clever.
Yeah, clever and funny, and and all that.
I'm sorry.
Kind of
after the screen cut to black and you heard bomb, 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 I started laughing.
Oh my gosh!
Just thought that was the funniest thing.
And and by the time we get the transformation, we get the first night of kills, which is really great. I love that. Although one big flaw, I always noticed this even when I was a kid. How did the werewolf manage to get out of the apartment by causing no damage? Because the following morning when he goes back, apartment seems to be in good shape. Doesn't seem to be any damage. Clearly the werewolf, I'm on a rampage, but I'll carefully open the front door.
Well, if you remember the motion picture An American Werewolf in Paris, we can see that the werewolves can stand upright and use their dexterous hands.
In that version, they could.
So
but in this version, we're not allowed to have bipedal. We're not allowed to have bipedal werewolves.
Well, they might have been. We just might not have seen it. I'm just saying. He might have put on a trench coat with a hat, walked out the door, and, well, hello, Mr. Norton. It's good to see you. Oh, you got that cold again. Sorry about it. I hope you feel better.
But waking up in the zoo's pretty rad. I love that moment. Because it's funny. And love it because, like, the wolves are like, hey, dude, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, the wolves are totally cool with him being there. It's like, hey, man, we'll catch you later, eh?
Hey, you looked fine last night. What the heck is wrong with you now? God, you're supposed to be in the monkey cage, aren't you?
And then we get this hilarious red flag predator alarm moment where he's hiding in the bush with the boy. Hey, little boy, come over here. And and then he has to go naked around to the boy and, steals the balloon. But
that was whenever my godson almost tapped out. He's like, no. I'm like, no. It's just
all good.
He's not going to do anything to the boy. He's just going to take the boy. Yeah. Sorry, this is not Mar-a-Lago. I don't go for that kind of
thing. No, he's not.
It also has another one of my favorite lines there, of course. Naked American man stole my balloons.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a great line. It's a great line.
And how did he know he was American? He could have easily been Canadian.
It could have been.
I guess he just didn't apologize enough.
It could have been. By the time we get to the second transformation, which is the final transformation into that Piccadilly moment, in Piccadilly, it's not really huge. Like, as you know, Piccadilly Circus is apparently quite small. So it's not even huge in scope. Like, the accident happens in one tiny part of Piccadilly Circus. But, however, they make it seem epically big. I think it's because we have the moment with the double-decker bus, which kind of gives you scale. Yeah. And then typical John Landis style, still had some Blues Brothers hangover. We get a over-the-top car accident scene where apparently no cars for 10 minutes had brakes. Well, nobody had brakes in England.
they had to make David the good guy, so they had traffic kill more people than he did.
Right? Some of the most horrific, violent things that happen in this film happened from just bad drivers in England.
Well, if you've ever been to London, that is not too far off.
And then what a great finale. It is stupid. It doesn't make any sense in the fact the nurse could get past all these cops and these guys with guns and nobody really stops her. She goes on her own. But you know what? It's Hollywood, dude. I'm in at this point. I'm not going to nitpick. I'm in the drama of the moment. And which could have easily been set up for a hokey ending, right? You could have easily have, I love you, David. And he changes. And they embrace. And the worst thing that happens is David is put under arrest. And that would have been an acceptable ending to this film. Not this film.
Nope.
She goes, I love you, David. He lunges at her because he's going to rip her to shreds. There's no David there. It's pure beast. And he gets killed.
I disagree.
What do you mean?
I disagree that he's pure beast there. I think he makes a decision.
Oh, so he goes, I'm going to kill you.
No. Because if you watch the movie, she says, I love you, and you see the werewolf's face go like this. Like there is recognition there. The werewolf knows her. And he knows with those police in the alleyway what they're going to do to him if he lunges at her. Oh. He makes the decision and lunges at her.
Well, that's an interesting take. I just think
that has always been my impression.
My impression has been
he commits suicide by cop.
My impression was he was just like, I don't care. I don't even really comprehend what you're saying to me. You seem nice enough, but I'm just going to kill you.
That's the hallmark of a great movie is that
we've got our different iterations,
and everybody has a different interpretation. Nobody's interpretation is right or wrong, except for mine. Mine's right.
But it has, we both agree, the greatest hard cut ending to a film, and that's when I said at the beginning of this review why I love 80s films. We're done, right? We're done. He's dead. Cut the credits. We don't need any extended back. What happened to the nurse or what the ramifications of that night was.
Just the after credit scene that teases An American Werewolf in Paris. That's all we have. That's it.
It's a great ending.
The werewolf will return.
And what is really, if you explain this plot to somebody, right? How do you explain a really exciting plot? Because really, okay, there's two guys. One gets bitten by a werewolf. He wakes up at a hospital, has all these bad dreams, goes home with the nurse, and then kills a few people and gets shot. That's the movie.
How cute is the nurse?
That's the movie.
How cute is the guy? Pretty cute.
But as we've learned, Jason, over the years, sometimes the simplest plots are the best because it's all about great execution. And everybody's firing on all cylinders in this film. Like Griffin Dunn, who went on to be a really good director and appeared in a few films in the 80s, another film there, Martin Scorsese's After Hours, which is an incredible film. You know, he is just on fire here. David Norton, if you've ever seen David Norton in other things, this is his best role. Love you, David, but sorry, mate.
I agree. It's okay. I would happily have my best role near the beginning of my career and just, I'm not saying he coasted, but I would coast because I'm lazy.
I have to make an apology right now. I accuse this film of not having soundtrack. In fact, the soundtrack was done by one of the great composers of all time, who I love, Elmer Bernstein. I'm sorry, mate. You're no longer with us, but wow, you were a hell of a composer. Did things like Trading Places and Theme for Animal House and a lot of those type of stuff. So either way, sorry, mate. Your soundtrack was so good, I didn't even think it existed. That's my compliment. All right, that's how I got out of that one. Now, the budget of this film, which is a pretty big film, right? You think, well, they had to close down Piccadilly Square. Those effects aren't cheap. $5.8 million is his budget. It goes on to gross domestic.
I think that was the Avengers catering budget.
Yeah. Well, you could have said cocaine budget as well. Would have been the same thing. $62 million domestic.
That was the cocaine budget on Megaforce.
Yeah, Megaforce. That and the spandex budget.
Yes.
$62
and the talcum powder budget, yeah.
That means it made 10 times the production costs locally, not internationally, locally. That is a bona fide hit, and it was. I remember being a kid and seeing the ads in the paper for it, and they would show the worst imagery, like halfway through his transformation when his jaws are wide open, the fangs. That's what would be printed in the cinema page. Now playing at Reading Cinemas. So is it like, a little 6-year-old kid reading the newspaper looking for the funny page? That was horrific.
Yeah, I had that picture hanging on my wall for the longest time because I had it autographed by David Naughton, and I was like, "That's one of my favorite things in the world." I finally took it down. It's in this big album now, but man, I love that. Yeah. I've got my vintage poster that's 45 years old now, hanging on my wall, and I just love it. And everybody else is like, "Oh, that's such an ugly thing. Let's get out of my house."
It's one of those rare things. There's only ever a couple of movies I remember, Mike. 3 movies I remember of childhood, having a lot of mystery around it, knowing of it, but didn't know what it was. American Werewolf in London, because it took a couple of years before I could get on VHS and watch it all to myself. So there's always a lot of mystery. You heard about, my older brothers went to see it. It's terrifying. You'd heard about people talking about it, but there was a lot of mystery. Clockwork Orange, and the reason was because I banned it for so long. It always looked scarier than what it really was. And the third one being The Thing. Like the mystery around The Thing, because you'd see the ads in the paper and you knew it was horrific, but you didn't know anything about it. These days, you just don't have that, right? You see all the trailers, you just know. But
I did see a movie that was shrouded in mystery some months ago, and I ended up having just an amazingly fun time watching it. And and I know this is a very divisive film. I don't care. I had a good time. That was The Monkey. Monkey was such. Yeah, it was such a. I had a friend take me to it. We're going to go see The Monkey. What's it about? I have no idea. I just know it's a scary movie, and there's like a monkey puppet in it. Okay. So I was expecting like, I don't know, like The Ring or Megan or something. I go and see it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they were on so many drugs when they made this movie, and I love it. It was great. And again, I know some people don't like it, but you're certainly welcome to a completely incorrect and baseline opinion.
I have heard it's a love-hate thing. You either love it or you hate it.
You either love it or you're dumb.
I watched a sequel to a movie that I didn't think much of and loved the sequel more, and that was Megan 2.0.
That is okay.
I liked the sequel a lot, dude. I thought it was batshit crazy. Excuse the language.
Megan 2.0 was that close, in my opinion. It was that close. Now, the first movie, it was dumb, but at the same time, it was kind of fun and it was fresh. It was basically child's play, but a little bit more tech. And I'm going to spoil Megan 2.0 right now, so if you have not seen that movie and you still actually want to watch it for some reason, you may want to mute this part. But there is a part in the movie where they find out that the evil doll, the evil Megan, whatever she was, they find out that she's not sentient, that she's being controlled. And they're like, well, who's controlling her? I'm in the audience. I'm like, Megan's controlling her because Megan has everything she wants now. And I thought that would have been the perfect twist, and Megan could have still been evil. But then they're like, no, you remember the guy who's the obvious bad guy?
They went Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it's the obvious bad guy.
Yeah, they went to Scooby-Doo.
Okay. Who was asking for Megan to be turned into a superhero? Who honestly said, you know what would be great? Let's take Chucky and put a cape on him and make him the good guy. Nobody wanted that. That's why nobody went to go see it. But
well,
if they would have done that simple thing,
a Chucky film with a cape, I'm saying it. I'm sorry.
I will too. But if they'd done that simple thing with Megan 2.0, the word of mouth would have gotten out saying, no. You gotta see what happens in this movie. And it would have done so much better. Nobody wanted to see Good Girl Megan. Nobody wanted to see it.
I didn't like the first one. I like the second one. We'll have to do that retrospective if they do a third one, which I'm sure it made enough money they will make a third.
They're not going to do a third one. That the second one bombed so bad.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, I don't want to see Good Girl Megan. I want to see the Bad Girl Megan, the fun one, the one that like takes paper cutters and like smashes them in the face with like a machete. That's what I want to see, and then do a little viral dance. That would be great.
Well, you know,
I want to see more children get murdered that deserve it.
Can I just say I appreciate that this being a horror film, American Werewolf London, that nobody has been dumb enough to think that they could reboot this. I thank the Lord that no one's ever touched it, and I'm glad. What are you saying? They're going to develop it? No, I'm going to research
I'm just wondering if you just like completely erase the sequel from your brain or something.
Well, the sequel's very different.
It is.
Very different.
I will say again, if they had not called it An American Werewolf in Paris,
it would have been
something
fine.
else, it would have been fine. Yeah. Now, I know that there has been a lot of talk about doing a reboot, doing a remake. It seems to fall apart every single time, and I want it to keep falling apart because I don't think they should. No, they should not remake it. They should not reboot it. I wouldn't mind doing another sequel, to be honest, because I have a soft spot for Paris. I know it's a bad movie. I know it is. But at the same time, I got to thinking, you know what? American Werewolf in Tokyo. An American Werewolf in Cairo. An American Werewolf in Mexico City.
In Australia. No, they did that. That's called The Howling 3, The Marsupials. That's what that's called.
That's not what I call it. I call it something else. You're going to make us watch this Howling movie.
We will do the Howling 2 just so we can get to the third one. Just so we can get to it. I would absolutely do it.
How many Howling movies are there?
4 I know of. I think there might be more, though.
Okay.
4 that I've seen.
I was going to say, we had a retrospective that was scheduled for late 2026 that we had to push back.
Yeah, maybe.
And so if you want to put it at the end of 2026 dude, let's do the Howling.
I think it would be interesting because
The Howling's a great movie.
I stand by the first one a lot. It's great.
Okay.
Great ending. Great ending to a film.
Any movie that has the Doctor as a serial killer werewolf, the Doctor from Voyager.
Robert Picardo, mate.
Please state the nature of the full moon emergency.
I think he'd be more upset. There's beautiful Maine.
Why was Robert Picardo so sexy back then? What was the deal? What happened to him? I mean, he just like started out like sexy and roguish. He was like the bad boy, and then he got to Voyager, and then he was freaking hot.
It did take a dip in inner space. I'm sorry, Robert. The fro is the perm.
No, in the 80s, that was it. That was like women saw the perm, they were like, oh my goodness.
He played that Jewish cowboy, didn't he? He played the Jewish cowboy in it. We're going to talk about that film one day.
The cowboy. We do talk about it.
Yeah, well, there you go. We've done it. We've spoken about American Werewolf in London. We both agree. It's just one of the classics.
It's
I can't imagine you're watching this and you haven't seen it. In that really weird scenario, you haven't seen it. You kind of owe it to yourself if you're a fan of film to see not only what you can do with a small budget, because what you can not only do with a small budget if you have talent. And this film is all about talent and execution. And it's the reason is 44 years, and the reason because of that, it's still amazing to watch. 44 years later, Jason. That's a remarkable effort for any film to live that long and literally go. Were you even thinking, this movie's dated at any time in the film? No, I didn't at all. I'm even going, those puffer jackets are still in style, I think.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I saw them for sale up in Alaska this summer. There are a couple of scenes that I think really date this movie in unfortunate ways, and that's one of them is David's meltdown at Trafalgar Square, where he calls Prince Charles the F slur, for like what they call cigarettes.
The cops won't arrest him.
Yeah, which
that
I'm kind of like,
yeah,
I get what they were saying for, but today it's kind of cringe.
Yeah, a little bit because the way they do it now.
At least I think that's the worst. And you could just say, well, product of their time. Everybody used that as an insult back then. And yeah,
well, it was also very conservative, Margaret Thatcher dominated culture then in the early 80s because that was the reign of Thatcher. So it was a very conservative, downward, condescending. I think it plays pretty on point for the period. But you're right, it does date it. It does date it.
But I have no problem with this movie, being grounded to 1981. Because again, if anybody in this movie had a cell phone, it would have been over in like 5 minutes. Been like, hey, Uber, come get us. We're out here in the moors, and it's scary.
I always find something.
A Tesla comes over and like hits the werewolf and kills it. It's like, oh dang, that thing almost got you, dude.
I find
wrong accent. Oh yeah, thing almost got you, dude. It's like the fourth one I've hit today. Well, this accent is terrible. It's terrible. It's like Bert from Mary Poppins at ease.
Yeah, everyone's turned into Bert from Mary Poppins.
Stepping time. Werewolf movie that's a musical. That's what we need. Yeah. An American Werewolf, the musical.
No, I don't think we need it. There's wants and needs.
An American Werewolf.
We don't need it.
An American Werewolf on Broadway.
I'm sure
that's
it's
what we need.
Attempted.
Somebody get Lin-Manuel Garcia. Let's do it.
Lin-Manuel.
What the heck is his name? Oh my gosh, Lin-Manuel.
I don't know, but let's sing some songs.
Somebody get Lin-Manuel. I forgot his name. I don't know how I forgot that. I'm a theater dude.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, isn't it?
Miranda. Yes, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Get Lin-Manuel. He would like wipe his butt with the script, and you'd have a musical.
Wrong choice.
Wow, everybody.
Wrong choice. You want to get the best Broadway producers out there, you get Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone, absolutely, absolutely.
That's who you get.
R-rated. There'll be full frontal nudity on stage. There will be blood that splatters the audience. It'll be like the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. Only you walk out and instead of having cute little foam apples, you're covered in blood. And
Jason, we need to investigate how much it would cost to turn the VHS Vault into the Sphere. I want the CGI Sphere version of the VHS Vault.
Oh my gosh. We need, or at least the volume, guys. Let's start a GoFundMe. GoFundMe.
Hey, what do you think of the Wizard of Oz? What they've done in the Sphere? Are you offended by the idea, or do you welcome it?
No. Listen.
A lot of people are offended at it. I think it's brilliant.
Lot of people are offended by it, and if that's how you feel, that's your right. I'm excited by it. I'm actually planning on going and seeing it in November.
Oh, brilliant.
So, I can't afford the Apple seats because the Apple seats are like $1,000 a piece. And I'm sorry, I don't want to spend that much to maybe catch a foam apple. But the only thing I've heard about this show that offends me, because the movie's pretty much preserved. It's just expanded. And it's a little bit ghoulish if you think about it, that they had to create AI, avatars of the actors, and people who have seen it says that in a couple of places it does get a little bit uncanny valley, but it is one show that plays in one place, and it's not like it's replacing the original. It's just an enhanced
I feel like it's a
version.
ride. I think like
it is a ride, and it looks really fun. I'm not offended. I'm excited by it. I want to see it, and I'm going to. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it in November, like I'm planning to. And I'll do a VHS Vault from there. It's like, hey, we're watching The Wizard of Oz.
No, I won't be on that.
Shut up! You shut up! You've seen this movie 20 times. Take your apple and shove it in your mouth and be quiet. I'm trying to podcast here. I'm an influencer.
Well, you know what? If they will build them all over the world at some point, these spheres, because it's becoming very popular. Sooner or later, we'll get that one in Australia, and then they'll just play Wolf Creek, extended Wolf Creek. That's what it'll be.
It was going to be like
or
Young Einstein or something.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh, hey, I would watch a Mad Max and Thunderdome.
I would Thunderdome.
Oh, Mad Max Beyond
Thunderdome. The POV of the Master on Master Blaster.
Oh,
that'd be it, right?
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. It. And they'll make it smell, so it will smell like pig dung because it is pig town. So It'll be perfect. It'll be great.
See, that's what needs to happen. If they do open up the Spheres as a franchise, they need to play one movie that is like region specific. So, you can do Thunderdome in Australia. Over in New Orleans, you could do Interview with a Vampire.
Godzilla
Tokyo,
-1.
you could do Godzilla -1. Exactly. Guys, who's ever behind the Sphere, call me. This is $1 billion idea. I love how all the
Godzilla is made for the Sphere, right?
Oh yeah. I love how all the doomsayers were talking about how much money the Sphere was losing. Like, oh my gosh, it's losing $750 million per second. It's a bust. And I'm like, they haven't even opened it yet. That's how it works. You sell tickets and people go inside and you make money. And now everybody's looking at those people. The Sphere's just raking in money on $1,000 seats and everybody. I think they'll be fine.
It's just such a brilliant piece of tech. It's obviously inside with Wizard of Oz and that, but the whole the yellow character with the eyes that follows planes as they fly off, or picks out things in Las Vegas. It's like it's in real time. Have you seen that footage when planes fly off and they will just watch it go?
If I was landing in Las Vegas and looked down and saw a giant eyeball just staring at me, I'd be like, oh, well, we're going to crash. This is how Final Destination movies start.
Okay. All I'm saying is inflatable wavy men at every entrance of it, and then the alien from Alien Earth, the little octopus eyeball. Please do that. Because you could just put a few, for the little tentacles, and then just have those multiple eyeballs.
Have they done the Eye of Sauron yet? Because if they haven't, they need to.
They need to do it, for sure. Oh, well, who knew? We were going to review American Werewolf in London and The Sphere. There you go.
Yes.
Which
we have not been to yet. So it's like we're
and only one of us
critic.
is going to get to, but in the short term. It ain't me. So, brilliant. All right, that's it. We've done it. We've talked about American Werewolf in London. Next time on the VHS Vault, Jason, fill them in. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Oh, my goodness. We are going to go into another movie franchise. Because believe it or not, this is a movie franchise. Nobody ever seems to talk about it anymore. And we want people to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen, for 2 nights only. Next time and then the time a couple of nights after that.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at the legendary but forgotten Hot Shots movie. That's Hot Shots and Hard Shots Part 2.
Yep. Certainly starring Charlie Sheen and his co-star, who ended up working together for 9 years. Might have forgotten his name, but the 2.5 Men, John Cryer.
Yes.
There's also in the movie. That's where they met and they ended up being cast together in 2.5 Men.
I forgot John Cryer was even in the movie, to be honest.
Yeah, there's lots of surprises in that movie, and it does hold up, and it is strong as the airplane movies. It's strong as the Naked Gun films.
I remember laughing, and Lloyd Bridges made me laugh
it's
stupidly much.
And it's legitimately fun, so I look forward to going back and checking that out. What's in between?
Between, of course, it being spooky season. It's spooky season, by the way. That's why we did American Werewolf in London right now. But spooky season continues with the legendary Creep Show.
Oh, yes. We're excited about this. If you're not excited about this...
movie, Jace? Where's my movie? You said we were going to watch Creep Show, not Hot Shots.
No, Creep Show is something we're all looking at.
It's going to be me whenever I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm making it a point. I'm going to have a cane and everything. I'm going to be like, okay, girls, go into the kitchen and just wait. Oh, God, he's doing it.
Put it this way. I do
not... grow up. Never!
I'm going to be talking about other anthologies when we get to Creep Show. I'm going to propose this question, but you're not allowed to answer it yet.
I do what I want, but okay.
Where does Tales of the Crypt fit into anthology movies? Is it quality or not? We'll find out when we get to the Creep Show.
Are we talking about the TV show or the movies?
Combined.
Ugh. Very well.
Yes, that makes it hard. All right, anyway, that's it, guys, for the VHS Vault. We will see you guys next time. Jason's going to tell you how you can
support us. Before you leave, ladies and gentlemen, beware the moon, but also beware of those who don't join our Patreon. By clicking the link in the video description below, you will be transported over to the moors, where you can pledge upon us $5 or more every month to get exclusive and early looks at all of our goods, just like we got to look at David's goods in this movie. Just not as impressive. Also, you can become a YouTube channel member. Also, you get our stuff early. Beware the moon, everyone, and beware of those who are not generous and supportive, because they cannot be trusted.
Yeah, and he's got to fund his trip to the Sphere, so please donate.